Greetings, viewers. If you're seeing this, you're on the YouTube channel and fulfilling our promise of what we stated concerning Smurfs. Every time we see a Smurf account, and when I say Smurf account, it's either someone who declares to be a Smurf, someone who does not answer the question if he is a Smurf, or someone who displays um, traits and characteristics of what I believe is a Smurf, the traits and characteristics which will be justified, of course, in the video. I will make a video about it. I will make a video about the game where it took place, about who the subject was, and about the different indices and or evidences that justify that the guy, is a Smurf, that is a cheater. For those of you who don't know, Smurfing is a practice in which the player in video games uh, with much higher skills than their opponents fake their skills for the purposes of matchmaking with other players so that they're systematically paired with much lower or lower skilled players. So, for example, in terms of Ao2, players in terms of skills or capability, there is a matrix which is called uh, the elo rank, at least in one-on-one games. There is also in team games, but we're focusing on the one-on-one elo. And the one-on-one elo, it starts for every new profile at 1000. Every fresh new profile starts at 1000. And here's the problem. Player is not confined to one profile player. It's not impossible for a player to have as many profiles as he wants. So here comes the Smurf problem. So once these players, for example, who have a lot of skills, a lot of games, and for example who are 1.5k, 2k, or almost 3k, nothing stops them from creating profiles again, artificially make them lose until they get, for example, to a lower elo, like 500, 600, 700, whatever. And the point is, they intentionally place these profiles under these elos so that every time there is a player, a real honest player within these elos to look for a matchmake, he will be forced to matchmake with the 2k player or the 1k something player. This means that these players are doomed to fail. They're doomed to lose the game. Either they will lose quickly and super massively, or they will lose quickly and massively. So it's obviously a rigged game, because to make it a simplification, it's like you're inviting to a basketball game, and in one side, a super NBA player on the top leagues, uh, playing like with 5 years of experience in the best top levels NBA clubs, and in the other side, you have a 7-year-old kid, or worse, a 5-year-old kid who has never played basketball. You know the outcome, right? It's not good for the kid. The kid is going to be bullied. And this is the kind of things that we want to stop in terms of online gaming, to prevent this kind of cyberbullying and stomping by players who declare a skill much, much lower than they currently are in order just to matchmake the lower level players and stomp. So this was just the quick introduction of what the Smurf thing is and why I'm doing this. And the reason is the Smurfing practice is, I will not even say prevalent, but omnipresent and spotted almost every time in Ao2. It has grown worse, and I think it's a problem that it stops fair games, it stops balance, it rigs game outcomes, and every time where you see a rigged game or a rigged game outcome, you know that nothing good about that game exists. You know that there's nothing good anymore about a game that you allow to be rigged. That's why you have rules in a game. The rules, they only work if they're enforced. So Smurfing, as a deliberate form of cheating, is designed to rig game outcomes, to asymmetrically deflate the elos of lower elo players who are forced to pair it against much higher elo players, so they will constantly lose, and to artificially create a ceiling barrier under which these players cannot even reach the middle ranks or, the average or good ranks. That's the purpose. It's to stomp them. It's to prevent these players from rising, and at the same time to bully them. I'm obviously against that because I believe the internet should be an inclusive and open space for everybody and not just for people who play, in this case of Age of Empires, 45 hours in the 24 hours a day, since they're 7 years old. I don't like this kind of elitism, and I will fight against it. So I think the first thing is to make sure that the game is fair and balanced, and anything that corrupts it has to be exposed. Now, we go as to the current smurfing situations we spotted, and there were many smurf situations which we spot today. But this will be like the introduction video of why we are reporting smurfs. Like for example, today in this first day, I'm going to report these two smurfs. I'm going to make two separate videos for each of these. Obviously, my name here is Timor, but I'm not a smurf. I'm the one reporting, and you'll see why these guys are smurfs. And also, if you don't like the content of smurfing, if you don't like anything I post, I tell you in anticipation, I do not care about your opinion, and much less about people cheating in this game and making this game miserable for the regular elo players. Internet should not be a space of bullying, and if it becomes, I think rules should be enforced to make sure that it is a respectable, safe, and dignifying environment. Don't come to me with it's a game, because every game has to have its own rules, otherwise it's no longer a game. It's an experience of frustration for players. And we don't want that. We don't want that. This game, Age of Empires, is actually very good. A lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of people put great work in this, like generations. And it's like disrespecting the legacy in the case of those who already died for this game, and those who placed so much work in this. I think the internet community is much better than the trash bags who come in the games like bugs to just annoy, to trash, and to make this gaming platform impossible for any player to have fun. So I'm exposing this. If you agree with what I'm saying, well, probably I will not be the first saying this, but I just felt the need to make videos about this because it was so massive and so prevalent, and I was tired and sickened of hearing the lies of that there are no smurfs, or smurfs are just occasional, or you see a lot more smurfs than they actually are. Yeah. And we're going to bust one by one each situation I believe is a smurf. If you think that they're not smurfs, sure, state your opinion. But remember, every time you post an opinion, make sure that it is truthful and you're not lying. Because I can also decide to lie in the comment section and pretend it's okay. Pretend that it's me that's not seeing well things. And maybe it will not work that way. Because I make sure to expose every little bit of detail or suspicion in this that something is not going wrong. Something is not going well. And if you doubt my credibility, well, I played like hundreds of games. You can check here, for example, in the ranked. I played hundreds of games, and only with this profile. So when you accuse me to be a smurf, I already tell you that you're in the downward road, because I only have one profile for this player, and I don't have two players or two profiles. I only have this profile. The clan, forget about that. I'm in the clan, but could be another place. The point here, look at my wins and losses. They sum more than 1,400 games in team games. and I've started to play one-on-one games recently. Don't come to me saying I don't have experience or I have not witnessed what smurfs are. So every time I see a guy criticizing me, I want you to tell me, first, how many games they have played in their official profiles. And I tell you, if they have less than 100 games played, they're not in a position to talk to me. And if they want to talk about the game, they should use their main profile. And if they're, for example, 3K player or 2K player, well, the question could be said, are they smurfing? And yeah, so that's it. Well, stay tuned, and we'll be making the videos about the two smurfs of today. And I'm sure that many more will continue. This is a reactive video, and I would prefer to stream, Ao2 content. But since that is not allowed, I react with this. It's my own way to react about things I don't agree and I find immensely wrong. Signing off.